Have you ever felt that burning desire to change your life? That spark of motivation that makes you feel, this time I'm going to do it. This time I'm going to change my life. And then in the next few days or in the next week, you don't. But what if I told you that that phase is actually the most important phase of all, and going through this phase and overcoming it and learning how to resist that pull towards giving up is a step that will take you closer to success. Hi guys, welcome to my channel, and we're about to go to phase 2 of the Turning Your Life Around series, the productivity phase, and we're going to talk about how to go through the phase of giving up after you had your wake-up call, after you've had your trigger, and after you've had this snap, and actually changing your life forever. Some people, every month, 2 to 3 times that month, something will snap in them. Every month they get a trigger, every month they get a wake-up call. Every single month. And why is this? Why did they never make it past this phase? And I know it sounds like I'm mocking you, but I'm not even mocking you, because I've been there and every other person has been there. As long as you're a human being, you've been there at some point. So let's talk about how to get through this phase. Why is it so hard to go through this phase? Why is it so hard to go through this phase and come out on the other end a changed person? Because you're forming new habits, you're rewiring your brain, you're subduing your flesh. And I know that the toughest fight in mankind, the toughest fight in the history of man, is subduing one's own flesh, and not many people can do this. In fact, I'll go as far to say that only 1% of people actually learn how to subdue their flesh and rewire their brain and form new habits. Talk about how the flesh will always resist change. Every time you try to create a new habit, or you try to rewire your brain, or you try to change your life, the excuses will start pouring in. Suddenly things start popping up. Suddenly you have to do this for your mom. Suddenly you have to take care of your cat. Suddenly you have to go somewhere. Suddenly you have to do this, you have to do that. The excuses start coming up. Oh, I'm so tired, I deserve rest. Oh my god, this thing is so tough and it will take so much time. Oh, I don't have the equipment to start. Oh, I don't this. Oh, I don't that. That's your flesh making excuses. That's your flesh fighting back and not allowing you to get out of your comfort zone into the action zone. Sometimes you even tell yourself, oh, I need rest. I've been consistent for 1 week. Oh, I've been consistent for 2 weeks. Who told you that was enough? And don't get me wrong, rest is absolutely very important. In fact, you need rest, but knowing when to rest and not using rest as an excuse to stop working. There's a fine line there, and you must never cross. These are the body's gaslighting tactics. Blossom, I think you're a bit tired today. Don't you think you need to rest? Blossom, I think you need to do this instead of this. Like, you've been going at this for a while. Maybe you should just relax. You haven't even watched Netflix in like the past 2 days. Meanwhile, you know that you need to take a break from Netflix from now, at least to regain a balance in your life, so your body gaslights you. This process is full of ups and downs. I'm not going to lie and tell you that it's going to be perfect. You're going to fall, but the strength lies in getting up again even after you fall. Even the Bible says the righteous man will fall down 7 times, but he will get up again. So your strength is in getting up even after you fall, getting up even after you fall, and making sure you never allow yourself to fall victim to your body's gaslighting tactics. Let's talk about drawing the line between I can't do it and I don't want to do it. There is a very fine line between I can't do it and I don't want to do it. I can't do it is when you are genuinely tired, and there's I don't want to do it. So how do you draw that line? First of all, I'll tell you that you should create a schedule that incorporate what your day-to-day breakdown will look like. I've spoken about this in the first video. You should have a schedule. Even your schedule should define when you should rest. So you know that by 7 p.m. or by 8 p.m. or by 9 p.m. you're wrapping it up for the day. You're not going to touch work and you're just going to rest. So as long as you give yourself that time for rest, when there's no need for rest, you know that you're just making excuses. So that's how to draw that fine line, and it must be drawn. The fine line between I don't want to and I can't. There's a fine line there, and you must draw it. You must know when you're making excuses, and you must know when you rightfully need to rest, because rest is very important. The reason why this is very important is because it's very easy to lie to yourself. Oh my god, that's why I always speak about being honest with yourself. It's something you cultivate. In fact, it's a muscle you build. You know, the way you go to gym and you work out a muscle. Being honest with yourself is a muscle you build, and you must never allow yourself to get to a point where you can lie to yourself, because if you lie to yourself, you will never move forward. And that's why you can easily lie to yourself about I do think I'm feeling tired today, and you won't even know you're lying to yourself. So you always have to be careful. You always have to be careful to not lie to yourself. So that's why I say there must be strict guidelines surrounding this I don't want to do it and I can't do it. Let's talk about the power of guilt, the surprising tool you never knew you needed. Whenever you have unproductive days, you feel guilty, right? I think this is normal. You feel guilty that why did I fall into this trap? Why did I lie to myself that, oh my God, I can't do this again? Why did I go around in this circle again? Oh my God. And then you spiral. So here's my take. Lean into the guilt of unproductive days. The more you lean into it in a healthy way, the less likely it will be for you to spiral. When you run away from that guilt and you tell yourself, oh, it's absolutely unhealthy for me to feel so bad on days when I didn't do much, especially in the beginning, because there's a balance to these things. And let me first of all speak about leaning into it, then we'll talk about the balance. So when you lean into the guilt, it helps you to not fall into the trap of I'm not feeling like doing this thing today, or I don't feel like doing this thing today. You will do it whether you want to or you don't want to. That's why I say it's very important that you lean into the guilt of unproductive days. The days when you did not show up for yourself, tell yourself, so you could have done better today, Blossom. Look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself you could have done better today, and you know it. So why didn't you do better? So you need to lean into that guilt, and that was a tool that really helped me in the beginning. So now let's find the balance. The balance is that on days when you couldn't have done it, that is after you've created a very strict guideline of what to do and when to do it, and then you couldn't do it, you should always show compassion to yourself on those days. But on other days when you know you could have done it, you have to lean into that guilt, so that next time you want to make that mistake again, you just tell yourself, there's no point, I'm just going to feel bad at the end of the day, so let me just pick up my book, or let me just pick up my phone, or let me just pick up whatever you need to pick up and do it and get this. Let me speak more on how guilt became a positive trigger. You know, there are bad triggers and there are good triggers. Guilt became a positive trigger for me, and here's how I did it. One, it became a reminder on days when I wanted to slack off. The guilt reminded me why I started in the first place and why I shouldn't allow myself to just slack off and do whatever I want. But two, it helped me tell the difference. It helped me tell the difference between when I needed rest and when I was just making excuses, which is why I pointed to having a schedule. Guys, this is the bane of everything. You must have a schedule that tells you exactly what to do, so you know when you're making excuses and when you really need rest. Number three, it pushed me to adjust. Even on days when I actually had things to do, or I had things that I couldn't get out of, I would still break my schedule into smaller pieces, so at least I could get something done that day. I would never let the day go without doing something at least that day, and using the fact that I had other activities to cover up for my laziness. And of course, there's a balance here. But it all comes down to getting something done at least, no matter how you feel that day, or no matter what you've got going on, and making sure you're never making excuses and letting your flesh. So let's talk about the good part, how eventually consistency bred results for me. So, after leaning into the discomfort and not allowing myself to run away from feeling bad on days when I knew I could have done better, I started even getting better by myself and wanted to do better. So even on days when I actually had activities to do, I would try to be productive. I would ensure I did productive stuff. Even on days when I was taking a break, I'll try to make it productive. I'll try to make it intentional. I'll never let the day waste or go, or just go like that. I enjoyed being productive. It became part of me. Because I started leaning into this discomfort, because I started leaning into the hard part of the process, because this process is not easy, because I started accepting that the process is hard and leaning into it, it started helping me to even enjoy being productive. And I think this is the same for every other person, and this could be the same for you too. So my final takeaway is stop running from discomfort, stop avoiding the guilt, and use these feelings to guide you. The guilt teach you when you need to rest and when you're just avoiding the process. Let the discomfort teach you that you are going through a phase and that it's not going to last forever, and that from discomfort comes growth. Let the discomfort and let the guilt bring you to growth. Let this tough process make you better. Stick to it and stick to yourself, and you'll become better in the process. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel and turn on post notifications, and let's continue on this journey towards self-improvement, productivity, and self-development. Bye.